This is everything you need to know about how to KonMari your entire home step by step. As well as explaining what it is and how it works, I will cover some simple tips for tackling and overcoming the trickiest bits. Let's go! Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I help busy people get organized, get motivated, and get their homes sparking joy. You've probably seen the tidying up show on Netflix, or maybe you've just been hearing about this strange decluttering method that's making the rounds. Now you are ready to learn more and reap the rewards in your own home. And in case you're wondering, yes, I have done it. If Marie were to come knocking, she'd have nothing to do. Briefly, if you are unfamiliar with it, the KonMari Method is the brainchild of Marie Kondo. She is a Japanese tidying expert. Who knew that was an actual job title? Apparently, she became obsessed with cleaning and organizing at the age of 5. My daughter is 5, and all she's obsessed with is playing games on her tablet and becoming a YouTube star. Anyway, over the years, Marie developed her own system of decluttering, the KonMari Method, and she went on to share it in her very first book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Worldwide bestseller, spawned several sequels and a TV show. And here we are. The essence of the method is that you tidy up the entirety of your belongings in one go, decluttering what you no longer need and saving and finding a permanent spot for the things that spark joy. Now, when she says in one go, she actually means that it will take about 6 months. From my own experience with all my stops and starts, I would say that that is reasonably accurate, but it will obviously depend on your living arrangements. So yeah, a little more intense than a weekend decluttering spree. Instead of tidying by location, like the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, etc., you proceed by category, and they are clothes, books, papers, kimono or miscellaneous items, and finally mementos or sentimental items. The sequence is important because it starts with the least rare and expensive and works its way towards the one-of-a-kind. It moves from the things that you have the least emotional attachment to, right the way up to the things that will really tug on your heartstrings. By starting with the easiest, you will hone your skills so that by the time the trickier things roll around, your resolve will have strengthened and you will know exactly what sparks joy. Now, if the concept of sparks joy is still a strange one for you, I do have another video where I explain it clearly and in a lot of detail, so I will link that in the description box. Okay, let's work through the process. Before you begin your decluttering journey in earnest, the first thing you want to do is to envision the life that you truly want to lead. When you know what you want, it will be so much easier to determine whether or not something fits into that lifestyle. For example, if what you truly want is peace and tranquility, you're probably going to think twice about the drum kit. If, on the other hand, you want more music in your life, well, consider soundproofing. Once you have your vision, it is time to get down to the nitty-gritty. 3 very quick side notes before we start. 1, if you live with someone, their stuff is off limits. Forget them and focus on your own stuff first. 2, if you come across sentimental items before you actually get to that category, put them aside. Trust me on this one, you will inevitably find stray, old photos and concert tickets and love letters and mixtapes tucked away in various corners. It'll be tough, but don't look at them. Don't let them slow you down. Set them aside with the rest of your sentimental items and stay focused. And 3, take before photos. Do it now. Go around your home, open up cupboard doors, open up closets, and take pictures of everything. In the coming weeks, when you think you're not making any progress at all, you can look at those photos and realize you're wrong, and then keep going. Okay, starting with the first category, pull out every item of clothing you own. And yes, I mean everything. Exceptions are only made for stuff that is in the laundry. Otherwise, it is everything in your closet, in your drawers, on the coat stands, on the hooks in the hall, in the basket waiting to be folded, in piles on the floor, flung over the back of a chair. everything. Put it all in one big pile and then take a step back and ponder your life choices. Unless you are already quite minimalist, in which case, why are you even watching this video? You just got a bit of a wake-up call. I have yet to encounter anyone who didn't get to this stage and question where all these clothes came from. It is an eye-opening experience. Next, you hold each item in your hands one by one and you ask yourself if it sparks joy. For some items, it will be very obvious. Joy will just shout in your face and spit in your eye. For others, maybe more of a gentle whisper. But trust me, as you continue, you will be able to tune into the joy frequency and you will feel that little jolt. If you don't feel it for a certain item, then thank it and set it aside, ready to be donated or dumped or turned into rags. Now, don't think that thanking your items is silly without trying it first. I was skeptical, but I actually found it really helpful throughout the process to take a moment to feel some gratitude for the fact that something, kept me warm, or it brought me happiness when I bought it, or it reminds me of the person who gave it to me, or maybe a special memory from a time that I wore it, or whatever. It just brings a lot more thoughtfulness to the process and it can help you avoid making the same mistake again. If you are really not sure about an item, then set it aside until the end of this category, just so you don't slow down your progress, and then come back to it and try it on, see how you feel. If you're still not sure, then ask yourself if it's something that you want to bring into your future, if it fits in with the life that you have envisioned for yourself and the person that you want to be. When you have gone through everything in this category, and that includes shoes, underwear, socks, jewelry, bags, accessories, etc., anything that can be worn, separate out what you have decided to part with and put the rest back. Now, in terms of storage, Marie recommends folding as many things as possible and standing them upright. If you want a handy-dandy demonstration of how to fold all different types of clothes the KonMari way, check the description box for my folding video. It is an oldie, but a goodie. Give careful consideration to how and where you want to store your clothes, trying to keep them all together if you can, and then go ahead and arrange them. Next up is books. Yes, you have to take them all down off the bookshelves and put them in a pile. No, it is not enough just to scan the spines. There was an item that I thought I could never part with. It sat on a shelf for a long time, but when I actually took it down and held it, it was much easier for me to let it go, and I don't really know why, but I think maybe it's because when you take something down off its pedestal, all of a sudden you realize it's maybe not as remarkable after all. And don't forget the books on your nightstand and the cookbooks in your kitchen. Same process as before, just be sure not to open the books lest you get sucked into the story. Hold each one, ask if it sparks joy, and go with your gut feeling. As with clothes, once you have separated out the things that you no longer want, get the rest of them, put them all in one place if you can, and arrange them in a way that is visually pleasing to you. After that is the category that will make you want to crawl back into bed and forget that you ever even heard about the Japanese tidying genius. When it comes to papers, even the most disciplined will feel their motivation and their enthusiasm starting to dwindle. The two best pieces of advice I can give you here are: one, to break this down into chunks of time. This one can be a bit of a beast and it is best to tackle it over the course of several hours or days or even weeks. And two, for the love of decluttering, do not sit on the floor. Get yourself as comfortable as you can. This can be a tedious and time-consuming process. The last thing you will want to do is add a bad bout of backache into the mix. I speak from bitter and literally twisted experience. Now, this category slightly differs from the rest in that Marie's general rule of thumb is to throw all papers away. Unless you need them for a very good reason, like for taxes or they are current contracts, etc., send them to the shredder. Adopting Marie's ruthless approach really helped me to wrestle and tame a giant paper pile, and I have kept her advice in mind ever since. Nowadays, my automatic reaction to paper is to recycle it. Unless it is pretty much irreplaceable or in notebook form, it is probably not in my home. If paper is a problem for you, I would encourage you to adopt the same mentality. If you are still really struggling, I shared some of my best tips for keeping paper clutter under control in another video. Again, I will link it. Okay, if you thought paper was bad, Komono is about to kick you while you're down. You have done clothes, books, and papers, and now it is time for everything else in the entirety of your house. Strap yourself in and make sure that you are really comfortable because it's about to get ugly. Let me say something that you will not even fully comprehend until you take on this category. You have too much stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I already know that, or I wouldn't be here.
You say, young grasshopper. You have no idea. Break this one down into subcategories. Here are some examples. Pots and pans, cooking utensils, CDs, DVDs, skincare products, cosmetics, nail polishes, trophies, scented candles, notebooks. This entire category is going to take the longest. You are going to need all of your stamina and every swear word you have ever learned. And you will probably pick up a few new ones along the way. So make it as easy as you possibly can. Break it down. When you think your subcategory is small enough, subdivide again. It is so much better to knock out a few tiny little categories than to slog your way through a category that you thought was small, but as you will continue to learn throughout this process, you vastly underestimated how much stuff you actually have. Break it down so you don't have a breakdown. Now, before you despair, keep in mind that your home has a finite amount of stuff. Yes, it's still a lot, but it is a definitive amount. You will come to an end. It may be a little bit further away than you would like, but there is a finish line. Everything you touch, every category you complete gets you one step closer to your goal. So keep your eyes on the prize. We're going for the gold here. Now, if during Komono you want to burn your house down and start again, know that that is perfectly normal. If you want to divorce your husband and go live alone in a log cabin in the woods, standard stuff. One of the best pieces of advice that I can offer here is to have a clear exit strategy. By some cruel twist of fate, as you are decluttering and tidying things, your home will initially be a lot messier. You will have emptied cupboards, you'll have upended boxes, you'll have cleared off bookshelves. You will be a decluttering queen with a vast empire. For the things that you have decided do not spark joy, get them out of your home as quickly as possible. Make regular trips to the charity shop, schedule a pickup from the local thrift store, or if it's all just junk, take it out on trash day. This will give you a bit more breathing space, and when you see all of that stuff leaving your home, it will give you a bit of a boost that at this stage you will desperately need. Also, be sure to tie up those bags and close over those boxes, because later on, if you or a loved one sees what's inside, it will end up back in your home. Okay, you have now dedicated several weeks to decluttering your life, and you are finally on the home stretch, aka Sentimental Street. Up until now, you have probably expended a little more physical than mental energy. You will have humped boxes and bumped furniture and cleared out cupboards. Now your brain and your heart are about to get a bit of a beating. Even though this last category may be a lot smaller than some of the other ones you have tackled, it will potentially take the longest because of all those detours down memory lane. Each picture will project a short movie clip from your life. Each letter will relive a past love. Each trinket will tell its own tale. Get comfortable and get the tissues. This is where you face up to your past, stare down some demons, and cut loose anything that is weighing you down. Now, there is no denying that this can be a really difficult category, so let me share something that helped me immeasurably. Set fire to anything that makes you sad. No matter how good a life you have led up till this point, inevitably there will be some black marks that will taint certain memories. Allow me to give you a very personal example. After I had my daughter, I suffered from postnatal depression. It was a very dark and lonely time for me. Some days, yes, were easier than others, but there were a lot of very dark, low days. Now, I kept a lot of my daughter's stuff because, well, that's just what you do. But there were certain photographs or outfits or toys that, even though they reminded me of her, they also reminded me of some very painful memories. You know, they reminded me of some particularly bad days. Now, I struggled with this for a long time because it just felt wrong to me to get rid of something that belonged to her. It almost felt like I was saying, you know, that I didn't care about her, or that I wanted to just get rid of, you know, forget her baby years. It just felt like if I got rid of something, I would be missing out on something, or I would be erasing something that I could never get back. But in the end, I realized that getting rid of one toy out of a pile of them, or a handful of photographs out of hundreds, okay, thousands, doesn't change how I feel about my daughter. It doesn't erase her baby years or my memory of them. It doesn't even erase the painful memories. But what it does do is that by not looking at those things, by not being able to see them, it stops me being reminded of those sad memories. When I can't see a visual reminder of it, I'm not constantly forced to face those demons. So remove the sadness. Memories are in your head and in your heart. Keep the things that spark joy and remind you of the good times, and let the rest go. Yes, some bad memories will still stay with you. You know, some scars are just too deep to fully heal. But for others, without a physical, tangible reminder, all those bad memories will eventually be lost to the sands of time, and you can move on with the rest of your life. If you are really struggling with a particular item, if you're really just not sure if it sparks joy, snap a picture and set it free. Again, the memories are in you, not in the item. All you have to do is see it or think about it to remember those good times. You don't have to actually own it. Now that you have gone through every single item in your home, given permanent storage spots to the best, and donated the rest, it is time to give yourself a big old pat on the back. You have officially graduated from your KonMari class, and you have my permission to take to your bed for the rest of the day. Go ahead and book yourself a sun holiday while you're at it. You deserve it. Seeing it through to the bitter end shows discipline and perseverance and just plain stubbornness. Very few actually make it all the way to the finish line, but those that do get bragging rights for life. Now, this video is already long enough, so I have put together a short playlist that includes all the videos I have mentioned in this one, plus some additional ones. There is one on the most common KonMari obstacles and how you can overcome them, as well as lots of additional tips that will take you all the way. Click through to that and you will be a KonMari master in no time. Until then, Karev Mila Mahagwev, Agus Veki Slán!